So recently, a video of Khabib Nurmagomedov being kicked off of a flight has surfaced online, and I wanted to make a video giving my breakdown, my reaction, and my thoughts on this situation because this is not a good look for the airline. And I want to point out right away in this video that this is my opinion, this is my thought and my reaction to this, and it is Frontier Airlines where this happened, not Alaska Airlines. I know people were floating around some other airline names out there. This was Frontier Airlines where this happened, and I had to look them up. I'd never even heard of them, and I travel around and do this and that. I've never heard of Frontier Airlines before, so now their name is out in the world right now, and not for a good reason at all. But I had never heard of them, right? So I did a little bit of research, took a look at some things, but I pulled some different things for us here, right? So first I want to take a look at this video. We'll break it down, I'll react, and then I will give you my thoughts that I posted on X actually right away when I saw this video, basically the minute it came out. So we'll take a look at that, and then I pulled some different things that I want us to take a look at because Khabib made a statement, and then Frontier Airlines commented on his post. So we will take a look at all of that in this very video, and we will also get his coach Javier Mendez's take on this as well, because it's very similar to how I feel. But first, let's start with the video.
It's not about the language. I know how to help you, and now you guys, because this woman don't understand what she's talking about.
Okay, so right away in the very beginning, did you catch that? It's not about the language, sir. So we have a problem here, okay? We have a problem because Khabib Nurmagomedov speaks very good English, right? People right away are going to say, oh, he doesn't understand English, he doesn't speak English very well, blah, blah. They don't know Khabib. Khabib speaks very good English. He's over at AKA running wrestling practice. He's doing media obligations. He's doing interviews. He's doing press conferences. He's up there on Patrick Bet David that has 3.3 million views up here doing a freaking podcast, in front of a live audience, all in English for over an hour with this guy. So to sit there and say, oh, Khabib doesn't speak English, you don't know anything about the guy. So that's a load of BS.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're either going to have you switch your seat because my flight attendants are not allowing you to sit in the exit row, or you're going to have to get off this plane and then we'll have you because they're not comfortable with you sitting in the emergency exit row.
They're not comfortable with you sitting in the emergency exit. Why aren't they comfortable with Khabib sitting in the emergency exit? Because as far as I'm concerned, if everyone would have told me who they are on that plane and I'm looking around, I'm like, put him in the emergency exit. Khabib, he can. Do you know who the guy is? He's an outstanding mixed martial artist. He's a very disciplined person. He takes care of himself. You mean to tell me you don't want him being in charge of, if something happens, being able to help people? I absolutely would want Khabib in that position. And to sit there, that's the guy's seat. Like, he's sitting there. Khabib understands what is going on here. So could this be some sort of misunderstanding like people are alluding to? Sure, it could be a misunderstanding. But the fact that it's not about the language, which they said, and then now we have they're not comfortable with you sitting there. So is that because Khabib's hood is up? Is that because they knew who Khabib was, right? So we'll take a look at my thoughts on the post, but let's keep it playing.
And unfortunately, it is fair. Yes, it is.
You guys, when I was mentioning JakeGerber, they asked me, do I know him? Yes, I said.
And they said yes. I understand that, but it's also off of their judgment. I'm not going to do this back and forth. I will call a supervisor. You can either take a different seat, or we can go ahead and escort you off the plane. Which one are we doing? Okay, I'll call a supervisor, and then we're going to have to rebook you for a different flight. Josh, do you copy?
Correct.
And so his guys follow him out, right? So they kick him off the flight. But I want to go back to the beginning just real quick because I want us to hear this is very crucial. In the very beginning of this video, the first exchanges between them are very crucial. So I just want to play those one more time.
It's not about the language.
I know the language. I know the language. It's not about the language, sir. Well, then what's it about? Is it about the guy over there that has his hood on because he's famous and probably wants to be discreet and just kind of wants to have smooth travels? He's over there. He doesn't have, he's got the beard. He doesn't have the mustache. You're looking over at him and you're just, you don't like the way the guy looks that's over by the emergency exit. I mean, Khabib Nurmagomedov is like the perfect guy for that role. If he had to help people in the situation, that's a guy I want helping me. I mean, when I watch this video, right? So we'll get into my thoughts right here, right? Because I posted about this. This is incredibly disappointing to see. Khabib Nurmagomedov is a very respectful, down-to-earth person who sets a great example. He's had a tremendously positive impact around the world. Why would they do this? It's very clear to me. Looks to me like they profiled him. Khabib understands English very well. I'm sure they knew who he was and wanted to big league him around because he's a very popular Muslim man on this flight. Khabib handled this situation very well and professionally given the ridiculous circumstances. If there was a misunderstanding, they could have just had a normal, calm, and clear conversation with him. And for those criticizing his hood being up, give me a break, which I just mentioned this. He's famous and wanted to be discreet and have smooth travels. Hopefully an apology at the bare minimum is heard from the airline. Terrible and very disappointed in the airline / staff here. Be better. This is my opinion. So this is the video here that I reacted to that I was just showing you. So again, very, very, this seems, again, could this be some sort of misunderstanding? Sure. I know people are throwing that out there. But when I hear it's not about the language, people are uncomfortable with you being by the door. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous because I can't think of there's nobody on this flight, unless we had Hercules on there, that is a better person to be in a position to help people in case of an emergency than Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? And I know Michael Chandler was on here talking about that as well, which I agree 100%. So what else could this be? Is it the guy? I mean, and then people say they don't know who he is, right? And they just, we don't know who Khabib is, which I find that hard to believe, but say they don't know who he is. Clearly people are feeling uncomfortable because they're judging him by the way he looks. It's very, very, very clear to me. And I find it hard to believe that on this flight, not one person knew who he was. I find that hard to believe. And people that commented and they were arguing with me saying, Khabib's not famous and tremendous impact. I don't know about that. In case you don't know, Khabib is a huge influence on many people throughout the world, especially when it comes to the Muslim religion. Like Khabib is as respectful, a man of faith. Like this is like a high-class individual, and I want to point out, Khabib handled this situation incredibly well, right? Could you imagine some of the other fighters that we know or other people that were in this situation? Which, again, if he got up and started yelling and screaming, I mean, we would sit there and say that's not the way to handle it. He would kind of have a way to be able to do that, right? Because of how they're treating him. But he sat there, was very calm, just talking like this. Listen, this is not fair. This is not fair. Khabib could have said, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm an all-time great, MMA fighter. I'm going to come. Do you know who I know? And he could have played that game up to a T. Like there's a lot of other people out in the world that would do that. He didn't do that. He just said, you know what? Okay. And just got up. His boys followed him out and they just were like, okay, we're on our way. This is ridiculous. And that's what he did. That is, so when people say that he didn't handle the situation well, or if anyone wants to say that, what are you talking about? He handled the situation with class. He was respectful. And he was the one that was being mistreated, right? So to me, that's just ridiculous. But like I said, this guy has 38.1 million followers on Instagram. Don't tell me that Khabib's not famous or influential or has, some sort of tremendous impact. He absolutely does. 38.1 million followers? That's an incredible following. So clearly he reaches a lot of people. He's very well known, especially when he went out there and destroyed Conor McGregor. He became a global superstar. Vladimir Putin sitting down meeting this guy. Like, don't tell me that people don't know who Khabib is. That's a load of crap, right? And I want to point this out. This stuff happens on airlines, right? This just doesn't happen to Khabib or whatever, and this stuff's wrong, man. It's wrong, and it happens that it's happening to him here, and we have to highlight this kind of stuff, right? And, but what I want to point out is, Khabib doesn't speak very good English. That's one of the arguments that I'm hearing. So here he is on Patrick Bet David, who is, has a big podcast and this and that. This is 3.3 million views. Let me say that again, 3.3 million views. This is over an hour, and Khabib is sitting up there doing this interview in English. So I'm just going to play just, a few seconds of this because this guy speaks damn good English, man. He's done press conferences for the UFC. Like I said, coaching classes, teaching people, traveling back and forth from the U.S. to Russia, here, there. This guy has good English, man, and understands the language. So the people that are saying that, you just don't know who Khabib is and you're a fucking idiot.
No. It's like when just since like first day I signed in UFC, like in my mind I was UFC champion. Like it was no way somebody can stop me. And father always told me only one thing can stop you if like I think it's like lucky punch. Otherwise, if you not gonna stop train like you train now, if you're gonna still focus, I don't think somebody can stop you because you can wrestle, you can punch, you can do all these things all night. You know.
So the reason I wanted to show you that, we're shutting that down, right? For the people that may not know who Khabib is and stumble upon this video that aren't MMA fans, the guy speaks English, understands English. Get that BS thing out of here, okay? That's why I wanted to play that there. But then here's Khabib's statement that he went on here and put out. First of all, I need to clarify that it was Fly Frontier, not Alaska Air. Lady who comes to me with questions was very rude from the very beginning. Even though I speak very decent English and can understand everything and agreed to assist, she still insists on removing me from my seat. What was the base for that? Racial, national, or other one? I'm not sure. But after 2 minutes of conversation, she called security and I was deplaned from this aircraft. After 1.5 hour, I boarded another airline, won, and left to my destination. I did my best to stay calm and respectful, as you can see on the video. But those crew members could do better next time and just be nice with clients. This is about as classy of a response as you are going to get from somebody that has a high profile, or just in general. This just shows you what a good person he is, man. And I keep saying this. And this is a respectful guy. This is a leader. This is a guy that is out there coaching people that are close to him and just carrying on Father's plan. And I've been up here saying that. People want to get mad at me for that. They want to slander, say mean things to me, whatever. That's fine. This is the type of person I like. Someone that is respectful, someone that is going to come on here and be professional and classy about this. So this is a very good response here from Khabib Nurmagomedov. And then let's take a look at Frontier Airlines' response to that post of Khabib. We are aware of the incident and we are investigating. That's it? That's all you're going to say? I guess it's better than nothing, but come on, man. Frontier Airlines, look at the video. Look at the video, and I know that, yeah, there are other things that could have transpired that weren't on video that we didn't see, but from that video that we see there, that's bad, man. It's very, very bad. It's a terrible look. They got some explaining to do. They need to figure this out. And I do want to point out something else as well, because like I said before, I didn't know who the hell Frontier Airlines was, and I fly pretty regularly at times. I've heard of damn near almost every airline except for this one. So maybe I'm just Patrick Star living under a rock like in SpongeBob and just don't know, anything, I guess. But I didn't know who these people were. But what I can tell you is this. Here's this post that they put up yesterday that has 5.4 thousand comments. And look at all the interactions on this. 624,000 views. You might say, Jake, it's an airline. They got engagement on social media. What are you talking about? This is interesting, right? So look at the interaction there and look at a normal post from this airline. Okay, and this one I'm sure because it's more recent has some comments on there as well, but look at the standard of their engagement here. They're not getting a ton of engagement on their posts. So these people that are saying, look at that there. They're barely getting any engagement. And you come up here to the most recent post, the people that go, Khabib, he doesn't have any influence. No one knows who Khabib is. There's people out there that are dumb and saying that. Oh, look at the comments here. Look at the comments. All of them. All about Khabib. I don't see anything about how fantastic Frontier Airlines is. Do you? Look, I'm scrolling here. We got an ad here. That was the one off. But outside of that, look at this. This is all the MMA community coming on here. And I know that, look at this. Just keep on scrolling, man. Just keep on scrolling. That's what's on here. And I'm not going to read all these because we'd be here for a while. But listen, you get the point. They don't get any interaction on here. And this post, these people out there saying no one knows who Khabib is. Oh, you're going to know. And Frontier Airlines is realizing what kind of mistake they made here because a lot of people know who the hell this guy is. So don't sit there and play that game either. And last but not least, I want to end with this. Javier Mendez, who, I'm a massive fan of Javier Mendez, right? Coach over at AKA. He's been working with Team Khabib and, for a very, very long time. He's coached Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, Cain Velasquez. He's a striking-based coach, and this guy is world-class, classy, professional. No matter who, even if it's his guy fighting, the opponent, he still gives the opponent credit and still plays it neutral at times. Still slightly biased, of course, because they're, his guys that he's training, but he gives very fair assessments when it comes to opponents. I always respect coaches that do that. But let's listen to Javier Mendez's take here on Submission Radio on his thoughts whenever he saw this and heard about what was going on.
They racially profiled him 1,000,000%. There's no way you can tell me. You can look at that video, see what they were saying. He was asking the correct questions. They asked me a question. Look, I speak English. It was yes. They asked if I could self. He said yes. What is the problem? Who's complaining about me? And they said, well, the stewardesses don't feel comfortable with you. And I looked at the video and I said, this is what they're doing. They racially profiled him because it's outrageous. They should be held accountable. And I feel that they should donate money to the victims of the LA fire as a generosity of goodwill and the whole bit. It's not a matter of Khabib talking about it. It's a matter of us talking about the racial injustice that goes on in this world. And those things should never happen. I mean, he was being polite. He said, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can help. And then he asked why. And you said because they don't like the way he looked. Oh, they racially profiled him.
Okay, so there's Javier Mendez's thoughts there. So guys, listen, at the end of the day, when I look at this, this is my reaction, this is my take, this is my opinion on this. And from the exchange in this video that we have here, that is what I think is going on here, right? They see a guy who, he's Russian, he's got the beard, he's got the look to him, he's Khabib's not always like the most smiley guy, right? He kind of looks over there, he's got his hood up, and people are judging, and people are being just inappropriate, right? And it's just disgraceful. It's disgusting to me. And, hopefully we get, the airline, comes out and says more than just that little sentence saying we're looking in and investigating this, because this type of stuff can't be happening, man. It can't be happening. And the way that they treated Khabib is completely inappropriate. And, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this because it was very clear to me when I saw this video what was going on here. Like I said, could this be just some huge misunderstanding? Sure, of course, that's always a possibility. From what I'm seeing, doesn't look like that, because from what we heard in the very beginning, whenever you sit at that, the exit spot, they're going to ask you, and they're going to kind of give you the rundown and make sure that you are agreeing to this is what you're going to have to do and all those kinds of things. He did that. He understood. And the fact that they couldn't have just civilly sat there and had a nice, clear conversation with him to make sure he understood, that is a clear problem, because to me, this is a lack of communication on their end if there's any confusion here, given that Khabib knows what's going on. He acknowledged that he understands, and the fact that they handled it this way, incredibly disgraceful and incredibly unprofessional by this airline. So they, at the bare minimum, owe Khabib an apology, but it should be much more than that. So we'll see what Frontier Airlines says. I'll keep an eye on that. But I want to hear from you all down in the comments. Like this video, comment your thoughts, and please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you do not miss an upload. I appreciate it. See you next time.